welcome to my channel. My name is Sam from the Beauty and It Reseller. I'm a part-time reseller on platforms like eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. And today is a little bit of a vloggy one. I have some work to do. It's been a few days now that I listed all of my stores on vacation hold. I am expecting, and my due date is in 8 days, so I really didn't want to sell something and then not be able to ship it out in time, so that was definitely a fear of mine. So I put my stores on vacation hold for, I think, whatever the maximum is for each of the stores, which is around 2 to 3 weeks per platform, and it's pretty easy to set those up. And if I decide that I'm ready to get back into things before then, I can always end the vacation hold. But since this is a part-time thing for me, I don't actually rely on the money that I make from reselling, so it's a good thing, but also makes things a little challenging. And one of those things is that I have quite a death pile going. I have a lot of inventory that I have from my own personal closet that I wanted to list, things that have kind of just trickled in and haven't listed, and then also a full order from TheRealReal of Retrofête items, and I think one Reformation dress that I've had sitting in the box for a few weeks now. I haven't even looked at them. Hopefully there's no flaws. Those weren't items that I can return, I think, so I'm just hoping everything's fine. But I think what we'll do today, it is nice and sunny, so I think I'll start with a little bit of a haul for Retrofête, and then we can start to take pictures of all of my death pile, because that's what really holds me up. Is I have not had a good setup for taking photos of items, especially when they were items that wouldn't go on a mannequin. So any jeans, bottoms, skirts, things like that, where they wouldn't fit over the top of my size 2 mannequin. But this past weekend, my husband and I put a little thing together. Basically, it is a 4x4 feet piece of plywood that I've stapled white fabric to and put a hang pole on, so I can hang those objects and not have to do flat lays, which sucks no matter what is going on. But when you're also nearly 40 weeks pregnant, doing flat lays is just not gonna happen. So I'm glad that that's up, and I'm excited to give it a try. Ideally, it would be a little bit bigger, so if it's a project that you're thinking of taking on yourself, I would recommend getting a bigger piece of plywood. But based on what my husband had for straps in his truck when we had gone to Lowe's, it was just what made the most sense that would fit in his truck bed without needing to strap anything down. So that was a fun weekend project, and it cost, between the plywood, I bought a kind of a, like, we'll see it, but it's a little thing that you can hang hangers on, and I had also bought a drop cloth thinking that the canvas color would be good for both colored and white items. I ended up going a different direction and just used white, but with all of those items, it was $47. So not too bad, especially if it means that I don't have to go to the chiropractor from bending down having to take flat lay pictures. So it was well worth the investment. And so once I start to take pictures of items, I will show you that setup. I'll also show you what my death pile looks like right now. It's definitely unorganized, and because we moved all of my inventory from upstairs in my home to the basement to make way for a nursery, it's been a little bit of a kind of cluster. So I'm excited to take these 3 weeks of vacation. Obviously, when I go into labor, it won't be a vacation anymore, and I am still working my full-time job, so really it's not a vacation. But using this time where I'm not packing or shipping anything and taking that time to just take pictures and start getting drafts going for all these items is going to be a huge help for when I am ready to begin listing things again, because I'll have already done the manual labor of having to take those photos. So that's the plan. Right now, I am just enjoying some coffee. I've got my All's Well That Ends Well mug that my sister-in-law gave to me when I was engaged. And of course, that's a Taylor Swift quote. You can kind of see some of my, we kind of joke about this being my throne room, my obsession room, but I do love to collect music autographs and collectibles. A lot of it is Taylor Swift, but I've got some other artists there. We've got Olivia Rodrigo, Shawn Mendes, Kelsey Ballerini, Maren Morris, Ed Sheeran. So there's a good mix, I think, but I don't know. This is my office, and I think having all of those bright album covers and autographs around makes the place a little bit nicer. I also have, this is what you see in a lot of my background photos. Got the Taylor Swift autographs here, which Lover is, you know, the top of the pack there. And then I've been collecting vinyl, mostly new stuff, but I do have some old vinyl as well. And then I've got the Lover, Taylor Swift Lover journals. And of course, the handy dandy Rollo printer, which by the way, is a really great shipping printer. So if you are on the market, I highly recommend Rollo. I've not had any issues. I will say, I do wish I had the wireless printer, but not enough to make a new investment. I think plugging my computer in is totally fine, so I've really been liking that. All right, so let's do a little bit of a haul from TheRealReal of Retrofête items. I think they're nice and bright and summery, and I'm excited to see them since it's been a few weeks since I ordered, and I'm forgetting what I bought, but I was really excited with the items. It's not a brand I've ever sold before, so this is my first time trying it. This is what I like to do with TheRealReal, is kind of just go by one brand and look for lowest price of whatever that brand is. Go through, look up comps as I'm going through the items. I like to sell dresses. Usually those are the items that I look up, so expect to see some good dresses in this haul. And then I obviously list everything and see how well it sells. Sometimes this works out for me, sometimes it doesn't. I did this with a Love Shack fancy haul, which I will link to, but just a warning, I've only sold one of those items. I will start to lower prices of some of those dresses since we are in spring again and still not making sales, so it's not always a win, sometimes it's a flop. But since I am less able to get out and go thrifting while pregnant, relying on online arbitrage and small liquidation lots is really all I can do right now, which is fine. So let's hop in and see what I got. All right, so it came in 2 shipments. The first came in just a little poly mailer. So let's see what we have in here. I like that they have the perforated edges so that it's easy to open. I also like that TheRealReal always ships their items in like a dust bag. I think it keeps them a little bit safer, and realistically you could reuse these to ship for your own shipments. I like to use them especially for shoes, just to keep the items from rubbing up against one another and the box. But let's see. I'm already loving the bright summery colors I'm seeing. So I think this is 2, oh, maybe 3 items. The first is this really pretty kind of rainbow tie-dye square neckline. Well, it's almost like a cowl square neckline mini dress, and this is from Retrofête. And I actually got a couple of these in this kind of colorway. It has kind of like a scarf hemline, I believe that's what it's called, where it's kind of like a handkerchief. and it is a size medium, and I believe this is silk, but let me see if I can find the label. Yes, so it's 100% silk, and the lining is as well. So it's really nice and soft, and it looks to be in really good condition. I don't see any flaws, but I will take a closer look because sometimes I feel like the descriptions that TheRealReal uses aren't very accurate with how well the items are. I have had to return some items, and their customer service has always been receptive to that. I did buy a wrap dress from Reformation once where the belt had been cut off, and it was described as being like new condition, so that wasn't good, but they accepted that return, I believe, for store credit, which is fine because I buy enough where if I do get store credit, I will continue to just spend that. Alright, so the next one is very similar. This one is probably a midi or maxi length, but again, it's that square cowl neckline and a tie-dye print. This one has more color, and it has a slit at the bottom of the skirt. Really pretty. This isn't quite my style, but especially if you are going to like a wedding or an event in the summer, or maybe even graduation, I think because it's got the rainbow colors, that it would be perfect for Taylor Swift's Eras tour if you wanted to go for something lover-esque. This one is a size medium, and let me check. This one also feels like silk. It is 95% silk and then 5% spandex. So not all silk like the other mini dress, but still feels really gorgeous. And I love selling maxi dresses, so I think this one should do well. I'll also pop the prices on the screen for how much I paid for each item. The cost of goods on these items is really a lot higher than I typically would do, and so it's a bit of a gamble, but it really did seem like from comps that the sell-through rate and the sell-through amount was good enough where I was willing to take that risk. And like I said, I'm trying this out. If it's a flop, it is what it is, but I do think that these pieces will generate a good amount of profit, so I'll also kind of pop up some comps on the screen for each item as well. This next item is the only one that is not Retrofête. This is a Reformation yellow linen mini dress, and I picked this up because I do have a good amount of experience selling Reformation, and I really love selling their linen pieces. I find that linen does really well, especially if you can find it in white. I think a lot of women like to buy the Reformation linen dresses for bridal events, but I thought this yellow tone would be perfect for spring or summer, and I've kind of missed the boat on Easter just because I am on vacation hold right now, but I think that this will still work really well for wedding season and wedding guests, or if you want to wear it to graduation or an event like that. It does have a smocked stretchy back with a nice zipper, and let's see, what size was this one? This was a size 10, which is also a really good size, and it is 100% linen. Okay, so the bag is done. Now we'll hop into the large box of items that I bought. So we've got another bigger bag, and then it looks like I have like a dress bag, which I've never received before from TheRealReal, so I'm excited to see what item that was. This next item is actually, I recall, what started this haul. Usually when like I'm looking at a brand, if I find one piece that I think will be profitable, I pick it up and put it in my cart, and then if I find other items that go along with it, then I am kind of like ready to make that purchase. But this was a one shoulder long sleeve crop top, well, long sleeve on one side, with kind of like a fun cuff with a bell sleeve and ruching up the front and side. So I think that would be really flattering. And this one was new with tags, and I just remember it being a pretty good price for it being new with tags. I am a little disappointed that it looks like the corner of the tag has come loose, but since it's new with tags, hopefully that's not too much of a distraction. This is a size small, and I believe that this is also a silk piece. So it's 95% silk, 5% spandex. And it has a nice zip side to it, so easy to get on. And I just think this color is so pretty. It's like a really light corally pink. And I just think that this will do really well. So I imagine that their tops probably aren't their best sellers. I imagine their dresses are. But for the price that I got this, the fact that it's new with tags, and it is such a nice, fun, summery piece, I'm excited to see how this one goes. Next up is another dress similar to the first. It is a black and white tie-dye, but it's the same cut. So it's got the cowl neckline, the thin straps, square neckline, and it actually looked like the black and white was selling for a little bit more than the colored tie-dye. It has that handkerchief bottom and the zip up the side. This one is in a size medium, and I believe this one is also silk. Yes, 100% silk. So for some of those more neutral girls, this one is a good option. And the tie-dye pattern is a little bit more traditional, of that kind of circular pattern, rather than like more of a watercolor pattern. Next up was one of the more of a gamble. This one is a jean dress, which definitely had lower comps than the silk. Naturally, that makes sense. But I just thought it was such a cute style with the buttons down the front and the ruching. And it also has like shoulder pads and 3/4 length sleeves. I think this one, it's a little wrinkly, but I believe this is new with tags. If you've bought from Retrofête before, do the tags look like this? I imagine it's been run through the wash or something, because it's kind of falling apart. So I probably bought it thinking it was new with tags, because that's probably how they labeled it, but I don't think that's new with tags. And also, same issue here. We've got the tag coming off at a corner, which is annoying. But I believe this was a pretty low price, so I think it'll be a good one to try. And let's see, this one. Oh, I'm also noticing that the buttons are snaps, which makes it so much easier to do up this dress. It wouldn't take quite as long. Let's see. Okay, here's the tag. So this is a size medium, and this one is 98% cotton, 2% elastin, and it also says that it was made in Italy. So I do think this will be one of the lower priced items that I picked up, but it was pretty good cost of goods. So I think it'll be fun for summer. That actually is a style that I would wear personally if it was my size and if I wasn't 40 weeks pregnant. Okay, and then we have the same dress again, I believe. Actually, this one looks like it has more straps. Oh, I was holding two different items, that's why. This is the same dress. The cowl neckline, pretty pink and blue pastel. This one actually looks like it's in better condition. Oh, it's just so pretty. Really makes me want to go sit out by a pool or be on a vacation. This one is a size small, and again, it's that 100% silk. A nice zipper there, and that handkerchief hemline. Okay, the other item I was holding that I dropped is going to be difficult to show, but it's basically a bandana style halter neck. So it's got really thin straps here that would go around your neck, and it would have a triangle front and then wraps around the back like this. And this one is new with tags. This tag is not destroyed, so I imagine that's what the tags usually look like. There we go. So this is the Doris top in extra small in the color marble. And again, I believe this is silk. This is 95% silk, 5% spandex, and the lining is the same material makeup. And this, I think, will be so fun for festivals and kind of summer vacation wear. I just think that pattern is so pretty and on trend for this summer, and with it being new with tags, I think an easier sell. So really excited about that one. This one must be la pièce de résistance because it came in a dress bag, which I've never bought from TheRealReal before. And it's actually really nice quality, so I'll definitely be sending this piece in the dress bag. And whoa, we've got glitter. And a nice hanger. It's got like a nice velvet hanger that it came on. Can you tell I'm impressed pretty easily? So this one is a beautiful gold sequin dress. And this one I know I spent the most on, but I just thought that with it being so heavily sequined and such a good brand, that for weddings this would be a really good one to try out. It is a size small, and I don't imagine the materials are going to be great because it's sequin covered, but it's 100% viscose. But yeah, so it's got full-length sleeves that kind of have a little bit of a ballooning at the top, nothing dramatic. And it is a mini, like almost knee length, maybe a little bit shorter than knee length. It's got a bit of a slit and ruching right here, kind of a wrap style neckline. And this is sewn shut. Not sure if that was altered. It looks like it was probably altered, but looks like it could be undone pretty easily. The sleeve has a little bit of ruching at the bottom as well. And then the back is pretty standard. It does come in at the waist. And yeah, I'm really excited to see how this one goes. And it looks to be in really good condition. I am seeing like just a little bit of thread right here, but otherwise I'm not seeing any like missing areas. A little bit of thread coming loose at the hem, but I can cut that and clean it up. And yeah, I think this will be a really nice fun piece to list, and I'm excited to get this on my mannequin. Alright, so that was the haul. I'm going to take a little bit of a break now, and then I think I will go downstairs and try to start getting rid of some of my death pile by taking photos. Okay, it's been a couple hours. I just had lunch and relaxed a little bit, and now I think I'm ready to give this new board a shot and see what the pictures look like and start to reduce some of my death pile in terms of things that I have taken photos of, which, as I mentioned, is what really takes the most effort for me. So this is my new setup. It is in my basement, which is not very aesthetic, so I don't film down here often, but basically this is my new inventory. It's the same setup. I've got my boxes. I did get another set of 6 So my inventory is not huge compared to many others. It is around, right now, I would say around 200 listings. That does include some items that are multi-quantity. So like, for example, I have one whole bin that still has some Free People liquidation items that are maybe 2 different items. I have the Cozy Girl shorts and the Sunny set. So if you are interested in either of those, I will give you a good deal because I have so many and I still need to get rid of them. Right now I'm on hold, so you won't be able to buy them, but in a month or so, if you're interested, give me an offer. And then I have the death pile that I was mentioning, which is kind of below me here. It's essentially a stack of things. Things that I have sourced. A lot of it is from my own personal closet, and it is just down here and waiting to have pictures taken of it. And so I know there is a bag that includes a lot of summer items that I was putting off, and includes mini skirts and shorts. So that is what I'm going to look for today. I think it should be pretty easy to take pictures of those with this new setup. So let me show you this. It is essentially a plywood board that we've used to staple gun to put some white fabric on, and also added this black hanger that can come off. I did just screw it in through the fabric. So if you were to do a project like this, I actually wouldn't recommend doing it the way that I did, because I know at some point this white fabric is going to get dirty and I'm going to want to wash it, which means that I'll have to take apart the staples and the peg. But for now it works, and then when I need to replace it, I will just do that. And instead, next time I'll probably just use clamps to hold it in place so that it's easier to take off and wash. The only downside to that is that you can't screw the peg in through the fabric like you would with the way I have it set up, but I could look into like an over the door hanging type of thing so that it's easier to do, or maybe like a magnet underneath, I'm not sure. But I also picked up, I had a wooden hanger for regular tops, but I did not have a wooden pant hanger, and that's really ideally what I would like, but I ended up picking up these crystal skirt slack hanger with the clips. There's a 2 pair that I picked up from the Dollar General, so it was really cheap. It'll get me by in these next couple weeks, but then I intend to also order some nice wooden ones that will look better in pictures. But at this point I just need to get some stuff listed, so not looking for things to be perfect. I really just need to get photos. So I also have lighting. This is the LED light that I use. I will leave it linked in the description, but here's some information. I have 3 of these, and so I just set them up and point them towards it, and I am seeing some shadows like here from the light behind me, so I might actually turn that light off, the overhead light, while I take pictures, just so that there aren't any shadows on the pieces. I'm gonna get cracking, and as I take pictures, I'm going to continue listening to Local Woman Missing as an audiobook. It is the book that my book club is reading this month, and so I like to be able to listen while I list. Alright, I did a few, I think 3 pairs of shorts and denim skirts, but I'm not actually really happy with that setup. It's definitely not tall enough for longer jeans, like men's jeans. So yes, like I said before, if you are considering this, definitely get something that's taller. 4 feet does not cut it, and I'm a little frustrated, but you know, that's what comes along with some of these things. Not everything goes perfectly, so I'm gonna call it quits for today, and hopefully I can regroup and maybe just buy a different size plywood. I'll just have my husband make sure that he has the right straps so that we can bring it back, and that will help me to get things like jumpsuits and dresses, something that's long enough where I could do those as well. I would love it if you could give me some encouragement in the comments, because I could really use it right now. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you would like, you can subscribe and join me with more videos about reselling, and I will catch you on the next one. One last quick update. Since that didn't work out, definitely recommend the 8-foot plywood, but I am going to just use my guest room instead, which is where I do take a lot of pictures with my mannequin, because the light in here is really good and the walls are white, so makes it very easy for a clean backdrop. But what I did was I just took the hook part off of the plywood and hung it on a wall. So that would have cost right around like $6 rather than the $50. If you do get plywood, most of the plywood options, at least around here, were anywhere from $30 to $50 for the size that I was looking for. So if you do want to take on a project like that, just keep that price in mind. But this is what we have now instead. It's very simple. It's just a wall with a hook on it. But it's high enough where if I put something like men's pair of jeans on it, I could take the photo in a rectangle and then maybe edit a photo that includes both the front and the back in one picture, making it a square. So this is a good solution for now, and it will help me to get some pictures up and ready to go before I am on my maternity leave, and that way I can do less manual work, because then all I'll have to do is start working through my drafts of whatever I can get done before going into labor and add in any remaining information about the item. So this is a much better solution for me for now. I was trying to keep things kind of all in one space in the basement, because what ends up happening for me is that when I have a room that is used in the house, this is what happens. My desk pile ends up taking over. So that's what we have right now, but hey, I'm gonna get it done. I'm going to get through the death pile and get pictures, and so hopefully it won't be cluttering up my guest room. We did set up a little changing table in the guest room, so it might actually get taken over with baby stuff, but look how cute this is. But yes, that is the update, and so now I will catch you on the next one.